Hello and good morning and welcome to the Short Vol Show Live. My name is David Lincoln and you are watching from Cape Cod, Massachusetts, home of the Pilgrims. And we are into the week of New Year's, I would say. Today being Tuesday, and we have a vol crush continuing to go on. I don't know if you call it a crush, but vol continues to move lower. It's not, it's kind of taking its time to do so, but if we look, let's pull up a chart here and look at that and see where we are. In the VIX right now, we can see that we are still kind of coming off of that spike from a few, what was it, a week ago or something like that. And we will see if we can break 20 and move lower here. I don't see why there's any reason why we can't. If you look on the left of the screen, you can see the various Vix Futures, and we can see that all of them seem to be down around 20 or 30 cents right now, with the VIX down 32 cents. Many people would make the case that this is a buying spot, and you can tell me if my new sound is better than before, if it's breaking up or not. Anyway, we had the president signing the bill. I'm hopeful that you're not getting your world news from this source, but just in case you happen to be behind a rock or something over the last couple of days, the president did go ahead and sign the bill into law for COVID relief plus government funding. Now, a couple things about that, a couple caveats. First one is that if you are in the situation where you would be receiving that extra $300 a week in unemployment, you're going to miss it for the first week. The fact that the president didn't sign this until Sunday night means that you're going to get 10 weeks instead of 11 of the $300. That first week is gone, and there's no way to kind of get it back. It's very clear in the legislation that there's no retroactive type situation with the $300. So last week is gone. We should start receiving it next week, though, if you're in the category of unemployed. I believe to get that money, you have to be either unemployed or be filling out unemployment claims. There are many people who maybe they're back to work, but they're not back to work full time yet. That happens a lot in the the restaurant industry, and so I believe if you keep your hours below either 28 or 30, and you're still claiming unemployment, even if it's just partial unemployment, you put yourself in the bucket of people who can get that $300. $600 is coming everybody's way. It sounds like it should be quick. You never know with these things. But if you have your bank information on file with the IRS, then you should receive the $600 pretty soon. There's a vote that has passed. At this moment, the vote has passed the House and is going to the Senate concerning raising that amount from $600 to $2,000. It's thought to not pass the Senate. We'll see if it even comes to the floor. At this moment, the word is that Senator Sanders is going to try to force them to bring this to a vote through, I think, delaying the veto override of the other military bill. But we'll have to wait and see what happens there. There is another bill that the president vetoed last week that's coming back to Congress for an override. This has to do with the military funding. There's a whole section 230 that the president objected to, as well as changing the names of bases to new names after some of the heroes of the Confederate state have been kind of discredited or whatever. The Section 230 has to do with the internet and whether big corporations can be held responsible for the content that individuals make on them. Now, this is a nuanced issue which I'm not going to get into here. There's two sides of it, and I can see the merits of both sides of this issue. But regardless, the president vetoed the bill, and Congress does have the votes to override that veto, so that's probably going to happen early this week. It's I'm using to see Congress has to stay in session. I know they want to go home and get this over with as soon as possible, but it seems like they're going to remain in session for a little bit longer. So what's up with the VIX position? Oh, I turned my P&L. Let me turn my P&L back on here. The VIX position that I have is in VXX, and I'm long the September puts still. I haven't not changed. I have not done hardly any. I've done hardly any trades in the last couple weeks. I think I sold like a one lot of some puts, but currently the position is, if I get out of the way, I'm long. In this account, I'm long 67 of the September 10 puts in VXX. I paid an average of 128 for them. The market closed yesterday 110 bid at 121, so down a little bit. It shows position down $900 so far. We'll see where that goes from there. We have 262 days till expiration. And this is the 10 strike. So if we can get close to the 10 strike, I think these will get up and start to increase in value. Now, this position, the caveat with this position is it does cost $32 a day. Now, that doesn't sound like a lot, but it does, over 10 days, it's $300, etc. So that is something to be thinking about. My plan moving forward with this position is, when and if we do break 20 in the VIX and move a little bit lower, I plan to sell something against these, thus helping to finance this decay somehow. As is, there's not a whole lot to do because I don't really want to sell like an option 52 days out. If I tried to sell the 10 puts 52 days out against them, they're 1 penny bid. I don't want to sell stuff for less than, let's say, 25, 30, 50 cents. It's not worth it to me. So the other thing to possibly sell would be June 10 or below puts. Those are 54 bid at 62. I was thinking of dangling like $1 offer there and just letting this kind of come to me over time. But for now, I've just left the position as it is. This is one of the longest times I've gone without actually really making any trades. But I feel comfortable with this position. And I'm being patient. We didn't get much of a VIX. Somebody might have thought that yesterday we would have gotten a more of a vol crush than we did with the president signing the bill into law, the COVID bill. But it just goes to show you never know what the market's going to do. And now I suppose it could be said that the market is waiting on the Georgia elections, and that's why volatility is high. This 20 vol is 21 vol where we are right now seems high in the VIX to me over time. Most of the voices you see online, like in Twitter and whatnot, are saying that this is a low number. But to me, it's still above the average, and we've spent months and months and months and months above 20. I think there certainly is an opportunity to go below 20, but we'll have to wait and see. Just to be clear, I'm not advocating that anybody take a specific position. I had a little discussion with some people on Twitter a couple days ago where they were saying, oh, I hope you're not telling people to be short the VIX because that would be crazy, or something. Somebody was saying something to that regard. I'm not advocating any specific position to anybody. My hope is that you'll just learn a little bit more about VIX and trading and options from watching this channel, and you can make your own decisions. You can see for yourselves what position I have on personally right now, and I don't expect people to follow me or to mirror my positions. I think that would be foolish. I'm a firm believer that you have to make your own way in the world, and using somebody else's ideas to trade is just going to get yourself in trouble. One of the biggest reasons I say that is just that if you're not taking responsibility for your own actions, you're not going to develop as a trader. Also, if you're going to follow what someone else says, then if you lose money, if you're not going to take responsibility and you're going to say, oh, well, that person was obviously wrong, I'm not going to follow them anymore, that's not really making your own decisions. It's passing the buck. And to become a good trader, you have to learn about yourself. And in many cases, sort of change yourself to become more disciplined, have a certain methodology to your transactions. There are so many things to trade out there in the world, and I've certainly found that giving myself boundaries and structure helps immensely. So for example, for me, I'm sticking to VIX ETPs to trade right now. So I'm not jumping in stocks, I'm not trading other things, and I have rules that I've set for myself, limitations and whatnot. And within that structure, I feel much more freedom now than I did before. So once again, the plan for this position is just to leave it and see what happens from here. Let's take a look at the Vix Term Structure. Now, we've been growing in contango, and of course contango is a force that pulls down on these VIX ETPs. So UVXY, VXX, they are being pulled downward by the forces of contango. Right now we're showing 8.27% contango, and that translates roughly to about $1 decay, $1.30 decay per month. So all things being equal, these products are moving downward by somewhere around $1.30 a month. And so if we, let me get out of the way of this first of all. So you can see on the left side it shows 8.27% decay. If we were to go and pull up a chart of VXX, for example, and I'm going to pull up a chart right here, and we were to look at this over, let's go to the 20-day chart. Why is it not showing me a 20-day chart? Or no, I'm in a 20-day chart. All right. Let's overlay on this the VIX. Hold on. I'm going to go to a 180-day chart. Let's overlay the VIX on this and see what we get. So I'm going to go to Studies, Add Study, compare with VIX. And so if we were to look back at October with, or let's go just to here. So this is VXX versus the VIX. So for example, back on November 9th, the VIX was around 23, and VXX was trading around 18. Now VIX around a 21, we're down to 16. It doesn't show as drastically here as I would like, but essentially this is decaying. So a 23 in the VIX, with the VIX 23 here, around here, this was up around 18. Now with the VIX, if we go to VIX around 23 over here, it's down from 18 to 17 to 16. So every month, as time goes by, as months go by, every month a 22 in the VIX represents $1 lower, $1 and change lower for a VXX. So it's slowly moving lower versus the VIX. And when we look at it this way, you realize that it's moving slowly lower. It's not something you're going to notice every day. It's only going down by a few cents a day, but over time that's definitely going to have effects. And when I'm looking at this position where I'm long the 10 puts, right now we're VXX 16. If you think, okay, well, it's going down by $1.30 a month, so next month with VIX around here it would be 15.20. Now we don't know if the VIX will be right here next month, right? That's up in the air, but it could be higher, it could be lower. If it's higher, then then VXX could certainly be higher. However, it's always decaying, and thus as it loses ground on the VIX, eventually this is going to pull this lower. Now, if we could get a little help and actually have the VIX move below 20, that would help the position even more. But even without that, with us decaying by over a point a month, that should help us get to the 10 strike relatively quickly, and we still have 262 days to go. So that's kind of what I'm thinking about with this particular position right here. I was talking to you before about my buddy jumping in on some of these stocks. Moderna, for example, I'm not trying to call anybody out, but just to illustrate that it is a tough game to play these. You know, this is like Moderna is a high flying stock, right? And it's exciting because it moves all over the place. However, you can see it's retracing right back to where it gapped up from, right? It was hanging out around 70 here, and then we got this move way up, and it could easily go right back to 70 here, right? So now I'm not advocating someone short it right here. However, my only point is that this is a risky game people are playing, and certainly there could be good news. It could pop right back up, but it's not as easy as it seems at first. Many people bought Moderna at any time, and it seemed like wherever you bought it, you made money. Well, that's kind of turned around now, and that's really a truism with the stock market. Stuff works until it doesn't, and in this case, we seem to be moving back lower. Where do we go from here in the market? That's anybody's guess as we move into the next year. Also, I was trading Lulu last year for a little bit. Look, Lulu's been bouncing all over the place. And it seems like, you know, it would have been a good one to just kind of be short straddles in, right? If you saw the 360 straddle, it's just coming back and forth through that strike over and over again, it seems. And this has been a high flyer based on the, you know, with the COVID and everything. This one has benefited from people being at home and ordering stuff online. I've always been amazed by how well Lululemon's done, and it's always been a source of confusion to me. Let's look at Carvana for a second. I was looking at some Twitter feed where this guy was alleging that these guys were cooking their books or something, but this one as well has been a monster to the upside. But we've seen a number of stocks where we have this kind of shape where it was just raging to the upside and then it's kind of given back. Let's look at W. This was another high flyer for a while, but the last few months has not been as good for it. Wayfair, expensive furniture. So that's kind of where we stand. There's not a regular schedule this week for the shows, but I will be on when I can be. Let me know if the sound has improved a little bit. We have a bunch of people coming on the show soon, so stay tuned for more from the Short Vol Show. Thanks for watching today, and I will see you in the next one. Enjoy your vacation week, and I hope you make money. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Let's look at the chat really quick here. What are the keys to becoming a good trader? What's up, Edward? Does high skew tend to come before a VIX spike? It really depends. Higher skew can like I said, it kind of depends. But it sounds better, hopefully. I know there's not a lot of people watching right now because I kind of came on out of the blue today, but I appreciate every one of you who watches the show. Thanks for checking it out, and you guys are the best. I will see you next time. Have a great rest of the year, Edward, which isn't very long. Thanks for watching. See you guys later. Bye.